Welcome to another Keelhauled podcast. I'm your host, CaptainLogun, and we've got a lot of Sea of Thieves news to cover today. So tie yourselves to the mast and hold fast. Ahoy there, pirates. I hope you had yourselves a good week and a good weekend. I know I did. This week, I'm going to be sitting down with none other than Davram TV over at the Pirate Talk Radio podcast, and we're going to be covering all of the latest news that they have released, as well as a bunch of changes and announcements about weapons, the balance that comes in from the upcoming season 14 changes with a grapple hook, all of the things that you can imagine that the community is in uproar about, we're going to be talking about and more. So sit back, relax, and let's get into it. But before I get into any of that, I have to thank the patrons. They're the ones that went over to patreon.com/Keelhauled podcast to support this content and more. The money of which is going to be going towards saving up for the next Fest of Legends, as it is. That is where some of the income is going to be spent. I'm going to be looking into getting back into streaming if possible. Now that I've kind of got things a little settled down with my regular life, I'm looking to see if there's any time that I can to kind of spend towards getting back into streaming once or twice a night. As always, it's tough when you have friends that want to hang out and play games. A lot of spooky season stuff coming up, and I'm hoping that, you know, with Sea of Thieves, we're going to be getting some spooky season stuff as well too, but I want to try and get some streaming in, start that back up, because I do enjoy talking to folks, especially during streams. And now that I have like a regular partner with to jump into Sea of Thieves with, I want to see if that's maybe a possibility in the future to start working around that. So we'll have to see. Definitely kind of keeping it like in the back of my mind as I kind of sit down to play each day. Not something that I want to take too seriously, because honestly, I think I have more fun when I'm not doing streaming on a serious basis, just so that it doesn't feel like a job and it feels more like just getting to hang out with folks. So with that being said, let's get into some of these patron callouts. As always, thank you to A-Chick, L Cute, Balls, Blue Turtle V1, Captain Chonky, Captain Longsharts, Chateau Noof, Super Pack, Zombie Killer, Cloud, Cosmic Johnson, Static Mirror, Davram TV, El Jefe Esteban, Fergatron, Godhammer 6, Jorby Jorbs, J Hood, Carl Embo, Kylea the Aficionado, Lumpy SRQ, Evil Morpheus, Space Admiral Ors, Xbox Mike 29, Mutinous Max, Norwegian, Regis Stella the Brony Pirate, Ribloid, Rustbelt Kid, Scamelt 666, Captain Dasm, Tommy D, TN Professor, Big Bad Pad, Mina Fairy, The Lore Chronologist, Deadeye Dre, Hager Owl, Jeff H, Captain Duckweed, Peter Miller, Rooski Doo, Thor Von Blitz, Luke Lore the Insipid Ghost, and Zam. Wow. Thank you all so much for your love, your support. It really does mean the world to me, so I appreciate it, and I look forward to talking to you all soon. Welcome everyone to the next episode of Keelhauled Podcast. I don't know why I started out this way, but we're going to roll with it. I'm joined today by Davram TV of the Pirate Talk Radio Podcast, PTR. Buddy, how you doing?
Oh, I am here in some realm of this world.
It is a realm. Yes, we are. We are present in this world. It's been an interesting summer, I think, for both of us, but
I would agree.
I would say that the highlight, ironically enough for me, was Fest of Legends, where we got to hang out and see each other for the first time. It's been a while.
I got to make fun of your coffee choices like I normally do, or your milkshake choices, I should say.
So much judgment.
Hey, I'm a judgy person.
Well, it's good, because there's a lot of things that we need to talk about with Sea of Thieves content that I think are going to be very interesting to see. Now, I know you got a chance to go sailing yesterday, and you were sailing a little bit today, and you've got some pretty good experience on the seas this last month.
Yeah,
September.
I played a decent amount in the past week. I did 2 solo sails, probably 2 hours, and then I did 5-6 hours yesterday. So decent amount in this last week, more than I have for a while, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely I feel like you've been focusing a lot on EverQuest lately, and that's kind of like your shut the brain down kind of go and
yeah, that's my happy place. Like that's my, it's not a game that takes skill. It's not I was raiding earlier this week and literally I just hit auto attack and take my hands off the keyboard and just veg. It's literally just my happy place.
I need to find this. There's a game. I'm trying to think. It was like Auto Quest or something. I can't remember the name of it. No, Progress Quest. Have you heard about this?
I have not heard about this.
Okay, I'm gonna find this game for you. It's still a game. They've it's from 2002.
Okay.
It's the funniest thing. I'm gonna tell you. You need to install it. I'm pretty sure it's free. You need to install it and you need to play it. And when I say play it, I mean just have it running, because it's not a game that you play. It's a game that just plays itself, but you're still playing it. And all it is it's just lets you can even play it in the browser now that I'm looking at it. That's kind of funny. And they even emulate the old school Windows 7 interface that I used to play this on.
Windows 7 old school?
7. Old school, yes. Old school Windows 7.
XP, that's old school.
No, 95 is old school. If we're really going back. That was when
I had Windows. Let's see here. What was my first PC that I had like in my room was, what was it? Windows 3.1?
3.1. Okay. So I didn't get my own PC until 8th grade English. So that would have been 96. So yeah, first personal computer, Encyclopedia Britannica CDs, Microsoft Flight Simulator CDs. I had I got Warcraft. I got Diablos.
Yep. So funny enough, I slid away from the microphone for a second because I needed to find this. So I actually found my original StarCraft and Brood War discs.
Oh, wow.
I have them, and they still have like the CD key. And a buddy of mine from Extra Life actually found for me the original, someone, I don't know if it was a garage sale or what, but he found for me the EverQuest Scars of Velios original discs and paper map that I now have in my possession with the old 989 Studios on the back of it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That's the original studio that Sony acquired that did EverQuest, was 989.
Back in the day, back when Sony was making content for their consoles and PCs. That's really cool that you got the map, because I think that's something that I think as Sea of Thieves fans, we always kind of cherish, like the Sea of Thieves map. And because we don't have I guess we do have physical copies of the game, but we don't have like PC copies of the game anymore, where the PC copy had like a manual and a map and a mouse pad and like a patch. And they really went all out with PC games back in the day for the most part. And they don't really do that, dude. I used to, when I was working at GameStop back in like 2002, and I was watching like folks come in for their EverQuest expansions and stuff. And Neverwinter Night expansions. It was fervor. The people, they were frenzied. The amount of nerds coming in, the unwashed masses to purchase these, and the frustration in their eyes when it took longer than 5 minutes to complete their transaction, because I had to go through the corporate procedures of asking you all the potential questions that you may need and addressing any like things that you can't bring this back if it's opened up and they're like, there's a dragon spawning at any moment now. If I don't get back home to my character, I'm going to miss it. And I'm like, whatever, nerd, get out of my store.
That's very accurate. That is, you are 100% accurate on that. I mean, I, to this day now, with how EverQuest is nowadays, they have individual zones that you can pop up with your guild in order to do some of these big bosses, so you don't have to have those chances of missing things. But yeah, back in the day, I mean, we used to send out text messages, and then when Twitter came up and stuff like that, you would sign up your Twitter account with your phone number, and someone would tweet an account and it would blast everyone's phone, so you logged on at any hour during the day to kill a dragon or whatever. Yep.
So I can appreciate, I can't remember how this got sidetracked, but I can appreciate the maps that we want for things like Sea of Thieves and stuff.
Great wall hangings.
Yeah, definitely. We have had some interesting news. We've got a lot of news, actually. It's funny that we're getting as much as we are now, because I think it was last week I was talking about how Rare was kind of losing that momentum that they had earned in August with their live calendar, having something going on like every single weekend.
Yep.
I don't think that's an issue right now.
Yeah, and I think I was actually thinking about that myself. I think with some recent events, which I know you sent me the link to the article, and we also have the news. But I think the other thing is they're getting a little burned on certain things, and I think they're trying to get out in front of some of it, because I think some of it they should have probably spoke about sooner, but now is better than later. So I think they were getting burned on a few things, and I think they're just trying to get out in front of it, which I think is a good idea.
I want to ask you about that, because one of the things that I think you're alluding to that we'll be getting into as far as like topics go deals with the blunderbuss change and some of the things that they are like trying to like acknowledge and understand. I can't imagine that this could have been done any sooner as far as like them like reaching out to us.
No, I agree. Because they're reaching out with stats, and that's important. Like maybe not giving us digits, which they never usually do, which is fine. That's kind of how they operate. You know, we don't know how many players are on Xbox, etc. But they're telling us what they're looking at, and they're making adjustments based on data. So I agree on the blunderbuss piece. I agree 100% with you.
Okay, it was mostly I know that we have talked in the past. And you coming from a tech perspective, you've had issues come up where you need to have meetings and discuss it, take a look at the data, come up with a plan, and then actually address it before you can actually like speak to people kind of with knowledge about what's going to happen. So that was kind of one of the things. But I wanted to get into the Sea of Thieves news video, because that's something that I think I'm excited for, just looking at based on what's going to be going on this week or this month, actually. And also then we'll kind of dive in some of the changes with the blunderbuss and stuff. Community weekend. We saw like the little teaser in the game first before the social media stuff came out. But that is coming out on the 21st through the 23rd. I'm very happy about this, because I think it's been the second month for season 13. And that's usually when they want to try and knock out that community weekend. And I look forward to it, because it's usually when we get things like pop-up plunder, we get a flag, we get like the Twitch drops. And this time there's two new things that are coming out that I'm kind of interested in, that I was actually kind of like happy to see them doing. They're doing a new community crate, which this is something that kind of falls in line with the emergent captains. When you sail around, you find an emergent captain, they'll drop a message, or, you know, like a little voyage. And that voyage will typically have different things that'll pop up. It could be a mega keg. It could be a king's chest. Could be a storage crate, a PvP crate. I love the PvP crates. I think they're amazing. I think they're great. It's a nice way to get like a little bit of everything that you normally would find if you were out and about hunting in the world, but it's like just right there. Plus you get the crate itself. And the new community crate talks about having supplies that would help benefit you for a fight against the burning blade, or it could be something that is just full of fish ready to turn in. And I'm like that's pretty cool. You know, that's kind of fun for pop-up plunder, having something like that. Like we've already gotten the chests that'll have like the treacherous plunder. We've already had, you know, like Athena chest dig ups, things like that. Chest of fortune potentially. I hope that they do fun stuff like this, because I think the pop-up plunder is a good way to drive people to go do things outside of the norm.
Yeah, I agree. And it also is, you know, because those pop-up plunder things happen, like they're not completely, I don't think, on a cadence. I think originally they were like every hour or something, but they have a decent cadence to them. But it's a way to start off your sale, right? We already have the merchant crates, we already have the captaincy crates, but like maybe you got some housework to do, and you're doing some housework, and then, you know, you've got the Sea of Thieves little Twitter notifications on, and all of a sudden it goes bling, you know, pop-up plunder, and it's like, oh, I'm about ready to start sailing. Let me sit down, sail. Maybe I get, you know, a captain, maybe I get one of those pop-up plunder. You know, if you get the supply crate on the captain or the plunder or whatever, you're now set up for your at least the first part of your session, right? Or you get to cash in potentially a whole bunch of fish, because I don't like fishing, but I want to get the fishing things done, so I haven't been interested in pop-up plunder the past couple times. I know a lot of people are. I am still a big advocate of keep everything in the game, and this requires me to have social media up in order to get the mappy thing and whatnot. But I really like things in the game, but because now it might benefit me with
Mm-hmm.
I might have my iPad or another monitor up just to do that.
Yeah, I don't blame you. And one of the things that I like is that they're not just doing it on Twitter. They're also doing it on Instagram and in the Discord. And I know you have already got Discord up.
I do.
So even if you don't necessarily want to have the social medias, you can at least just stick to the Discord server.
Yeah. Yeah, I can open it up on another monitor because I do have a secondary monitor here that I run my other character when I play EverQuest on, and I can just have the Discord up and watch it. So that's fair. But I do want fish. I'm gonna be play. I feel like next weekend might be the most I play in a weekend for a long time, and it's to get the community crates and hope that they're all full of fish that I still need.
Yeah, I love that idea. I think it's fun. It's going to be time limited just due to the nature of the community weekend. Mm-hmm. But it's going to be nice. And what I will say is that with your second monitor, shout out to the PC peeps out there. You could have a Twitch channel up, because that'll also, you'll have your Discord, you'll have your Twitch, and that will help try to boost up the community emissary grade. So much like with every community weekend, they are going to be doing the emissary grades. Not only when you log in are you going to be able to get the weekend flag as well as the shimmy dance emote, but as you are watching people on Twitch, and they really incentivized it this time, you're going to slowly build up the hours towards the community grades to get to grade 5, and it's accumulative. So everyone watching, all of the Twitch streamers play Sea of Thieves, will slowly start to grow the emissary grade, which is really it's awesome that they're willing to do that. And because it starts in the UK time zone, it feels like by the time you and I get on, chances are it's probably already grade 3, grade 4.
Yeah, I'm gonna need all the UK nerds out there to watch as much Twitch as they can before I wake up, because I want it to be grade 5 before I log in, so I don't have to worry about anything. You guys do the work over there across the pond, and I'll just reap the rewards.
Well,
I like it.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. You like free stuff, right?
I do like free stuff.
You do like free stuff. I know you like free stuff. And the reason I mention this is because they're bringing Twitch drops. Yep. So you're going to have to watch Twitch regardless. So
you're correct.
If it's grade 3 and it's not grade 4 and it's not grade 5 and you have to get those hours in for the Twitch drops regardless, then at least you're contributing to the greater good in this case.
The greater good.
The greater good.
Name that movie.
The greater, that was Hot Fuzz.
Dude, that's correct.
So Twitch drops falling in line 21st through the 23rd alongside the community weekend. There is a spyglass and a shovel for the Stormy Sea Dog set. There's also a concertina and a bucket for the Stalwart Sea Dog set. Then there's one of the more coveted items. That's a stretch goal. The Obsidian Captain's Table. Now, this is something that is, once again, on the community. And the way that we do this, we have to collectively complete 100,000 world events. Now, once we do that, the Twitch drop will then unlock, and we can then earn the right to get the Obsidian Captain's Table. So I don't know about you, but I haven't really focused too much on the dives to raid voyages, but I can guarantee you during the community weekend, I'm probably going to be diving to raid voyages to get these world events done.
Yeah. And look, I'm going to take my I'm going to take my I'm going to take my anti-alliance server hat off for a minute. Alliance servers go ham. Get those world events done as fast as you can.
Oh my god.
Then I'll put my anti-alliance hat back on once I have my table.
See, it's all fine and good for you to not want alliances until you benefit from it, and then all of a sudden
That's right.
It seems like you're okay with them. That's so
just
strange.
to get my table.
Mm-hmm.
I just need them to knock that stuff out as fast as possible.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. The captain's table has never been released in the past because I don't have it, and I don't think it's ever been. So this is going to be the first time that we've had a chance to get it. The rug's been available.
The rug, yes,
and I know that the table's next. I don't think that the drapes have been.
Drapes have been as well.
Okay, they have. I don't know if the chandelier has.
No.
I don't know if the chair has.
No.
And the capstan is still a mystery.
For some people.
True. Not sophisticated.
For me, it's still a mystery.
Not for sophisticated people with good ties.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So if anyone's sailing with me needs that.
The captain placard has also been released.
That's true. Yes.
Yep.
That's been
so
available.
We're still missing
chandelier,
table, chair. Is there a bed? Have they done a bed yet?
There is a bed. Let me check.
Okay.
So let me open up my pirate. One of the things I was just talking to you earlier about this. One of the things that I really like about what Sea of Thieves has done recently is they've gone and put the reputations and stuff on the front end. Like your pirate log is now on the front end of the game. So I don't have to sit here and actually open up a server and sign into a ship to be able to like check out stuff that I have on my pirate. I can check all my ranks, all my reputations, all my season pass stuff, all of that stuff like on the front end without actually having to dive into a server. They did get the crest, by the way.
Yep. So bed, I'm looking right now. Bed, drapes, rug, crest.
Okay.
Those are the four.
I do have the drapes. I do have the rug. I do have the crest. I don't see curtains. So curtains are on the table.
No. They have the drapes. I have them.
Drapes are not as the same as the curtains, though. The curtains are...
Oh, is the drape different? I thought they were the same.
No, drape is on the sloop. Curtains are on the galleon.
Oh, I thought they were interchangeable.
No, they split them.
Okay, so curtains. Okay.
Chandelier's still missing for me. Pretty sure chair is as well too. I don't remember them coming out with the chair.
I look, if it is obsidian, aside from the capstan, if it exists, I have it.
Yeah, bed they've come out. I have the bed as well too. So there's still a few pieces missing out there in the wild. I have a feeling that we will probably see them sooner or later. But at the moment, according to at least my pirate, they've only released 4 of the decorations. Or ship decorations at the moment. So this would make 5 with the captain's table. Yep. So definitely want to get those world events done. I'll be putting in the time to try and get those knocked out as well too.
You let me know once they're unlocked, so then I can get my table. No, I'll be honest, I'm gonna be diving because you can dive all those dives, you can determine which reputation you want.
Yeah.
Order of Souls, raid dives all day.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing.
Skeleton Lord it up. Or actually, no, I guess not Skeleton Lord. I guess it would have to be, what would be the Skeleton Fort would probably be the best.
If you're going for, I don't know, the fortresses aren't bad because you get a couple skulls out of that. Plus, I think you get the eye as well, the little orb eye, I think.
Yeah, but I'm thinking
so those aren't bad.
So hear me out, and this is going to be something that's just for Order of Souls. Mm-hmm. If you do a skeleton fort, chances are you're probably going to run into Captain Skellies on there before you hit the Skeleton Lord. So you're going to get extra skulls, and that's going to push the rep higher.
Nope, you're right.
So that's just my thinking behind it.
Nope, that's actually not a bad call. I was thinking amount of events that I could knock out, which the fortress would be quicker. But if we're also focusing on the rep bonus for me to get my precious rings, then yes, the Skelly forts are probably best.
One of the other things that's kind of kicking up around this time, and this happens every year, September 19th, International Talk Like a Pirate Day, which the video is really cute because they use the audio from John saying it like typically throughout the years over Daryl's voice. And it was just nice to hear McMurtry's sullen voice over that. It was just great to hear that. But International Talk Like a Pirate Day is coming with a sale to the Pirate Emporium. You get the freebie, which is the Rage Unleashed emote, which is nice, but I think they need to make sure that there's a salty, like salt. Oh, you're looking something up, I can tell.
Sorry.
But the event or the sale is going to be running for 8 days from the 19th to the 27th, and it includes deals on the Lodestars, the Mandrake set, the Stone Islehopper Outlaw set, and the Pretty Polly sales are going to be back in stock for a limited time, which I don't think I've actually got those. So that's one of those ones where I think like, oh, I think I missed those because I just didn't think that they would go away. So I'm probably going to actually have to go and get those Pretty Polly ones.
I don't think they're going to be. I don't remember. It comes out on, the 19th with the update, the new Pirate Emporium stuff. I don't think they're going to be on sale because they're new.
No,
you know me. I used to buy everything in the Emporium. I stopped that a while back. I did. And I know these aren't going to be on sale, so they're going to get me at full price. But the turtle set is what I want. Out of all the stuff that's discounted and not, the new black and red turtle set. Yeah, looks good.
So that's one of the Iron Turtle ship collections. It's got a clothing and a weapon bundle, which look awesome as well. And those are coming out on the 19th. And there's also going to be a new conductor free emote that's alongside that as well. So the Rage Unleashed and the conductor emotes, I think, are going to be the two that come in. Along with that, they've got some new pets, Sunken Sorrow Curse pets, which look adorbs.
They are adorable.
As well as tourist emotes, which always fun.
Did you see the one where the pirate pulls out 2 spy glasses and is like, it looks like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, like the dagger eyes?
Yeah.
That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I like some of the emotes that they've been putting in there. I still wish that they would do something to bring emotes to the stores. Like I get why they're doing emotes for just the Pirate Emporium, but I would like to have like some more emotes actually brought through into the game beyond just like doing different events and stuff like that.
Yeah, they could almost. I know with the prestige system that they have, they've got the rings. I mean, theoretically, they could. Again, all the ring sets, we were looking at them earlier, are pretty full, right? Once you get Prestige 5, your hands are pretty full of rings doesn't matter which faction you're doing. So maybe when they decide to expand that system, which they said they plan to eventually, they could maybe do something else that expands. And I could definitely see some like building emote, right? You get like, you know what I mean? Like the first emote on like a gold hoarder, you like flip a couple coins and you're, whatever. And then the next time you're like juggling bags of gold. And then the next, like you like just lean back on a beanbag chair of gold or something. Like they could do some sort of interesting thing where an emote grows based on the reputation as well. And that could bring the emotes into a more store setting versus just the Emporium.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that would be a good idea. You know what else would be a really good idea with those emotes? Bringing back those page wheel numbers. Because what the hell? Why do I have to sit here and like mentally try and keep track of which emotes on which radial when we used to have numbers to let us know which page we're on?
Yeah, let me think how I'm going to say this. So the radial wheels, right? The radial wheels have always annoyed me, and I know we've had some improvements and changes to them over time, but like, I can't be bothered to flip through 8 pages of radials. Like, I just can't. So the only emotes I usually use, I just put on the first page. And though my entire, 8 pages of radials that you have access to are full of emotes that I like, I never use them because they're not on the first page. And I'm like, I can't be bothered. I just cannot be bothered to sit there and be like, oh, I clicked once, I clicked twice. Oh, crap. The one I wanted was on the last page and I have to click through them all again. And I don't know. I just put all my favorites on the first one and that's the only ones I use.
Interesting. I have so many, and I go through so many of them so often that I genuinely just do kind of move my way through each of the different like radial emotes. But I do genuinely miss like having the actual like numbers to kind of remember like, okay, well this one's on 4. So I just gotta like I can kind of like pop through them to count like, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, stop. But
I'd forget.
Yeah, anyway, don't necessarily have to live and breathe on, or live and die on that one. So pop-up plunder, we've also got the Twitch drops coming. The world events will unlock the Obsidian Captain's Table, which is the very coveted. It does look good too, actually. That's the one thing I noticed.
It does.
One of the other things that they'll have, as always with the community events, is they are going to be giving away the blue hats. So if you want to try and get one of those coveted blue hats, just make sure that you're on social media. You tag yourself or the person that you want to nominate for those with the hashtag #BeMorePirate and @SeaOfThieves on there, so that you can help try and give some props to someone who deserves the hat of unfeasibly glorious fame. So outside of that, they've got the picture wall that's coming. It's a red and gold theme this time, which I don't know if we've had a red and gold. I feel like we've had a red and gold theme in the past. I'm actually going to look up Community Day flags since I've got all of them.
I think I've missed one because I think I was traveling potentially.
You couldn't have logged into the game and been like, oh, hi, I'm just here for this.
Well, you know how I am. They had to do a lot of convincing at Fest of Legends for me to log in on my phone to get that tankard thing. Like, people would just be like, come on, you can log in your phone. I'm like, I'm not at my computer. No, just log into your phone. I'm like, so
yep.
Yeah. If I don't have my computer, I'm not logging in.
Okay. So season 11 was probably the closest. It was a white and black, or white and red motif. 12 was a teal and purple. 8 was a gold, or no, like I don't even know, like a peach and purple. 5 was a blue and light blue. 9 was a burgundy and yellow. 7 was a yellow and brown. 6 is a yellow and a green. What else we got? 10 was a trans flag.
Oh yeah, the community day flag of Twitter drama.
Yeah.
That was unnecessary.
Completely. So we've had season 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, 12. So I think it started back up in 5. It's wild to me that it started back up in 5. I would have had others for those, but it doesn't look like I have any other ones. But
all right, mine starts at 6. I have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
You might have missed 5 in that case.
Maybe.
Because 5.
But you said you didn't have 5.
No, I do. Okay. 5 was the first one, because that was the one where I actually bought the t-shirts from it, because it was the first community day.
I might have missed that one. Yeah.
That was like the very first one.
Yeah, I feel like I missed one recently, but now that I'm looking at this online, you tell me why I'm annoyed by these community day flags.
Oh, because they're not ladies and gentlemen, this is Davrum's OCD and the best. The flags are numbered by season 11, season 12, and then they go into the actual word of the number. Season 8, season 5, season 9. So the problem here is that not only is the order not numerical, either ascending or descending for Davram, but they've also changed the formatting of the actual naming conventions so that it is not 12 TWELVE or 11 ELEVEN. It is the numeral 11 and the numeral 12. Did I hit it?
Yeah. You hit both of them.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this like 11, 12, 8, 9, 7, 6, 10, and then looking at the words versus the numbers, and I just want to close the website now.
Yes, you've upset down.
I'm upset.
So yeah, they maybe need to go in and actually change all of them to just the numbers, since the numbers are the universal language.
Or they could really annoy me, and on season 13 it's season Roman numeral 13 to add a third one in there.
They could do that. That'd be really
if
funny.
They do that now, I know they listened to this show, they've went in this week and made that update change just to screw with me. If that happens, I blame you and your show.
That's fine. I will take that heat because it cracks me up to think that that's actually going to happen. Okay, so I'm trying to think of what else is going on. I think that's it as far as the community weekend. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be right after Talk Like a Pirate Day. Pop-up plunder sounds awesome with the fish and with everything that they're doing. I really want to check out what the community crates are, just because it sounds awesome to have like the different PvP crates as well as like other types of crates and stuff, as well as just like the general pop-up plunder. Which brings me to the next topic, which is the community or the weekend event that is happening right now, and that's Hunter's Call bonus. I want to know your feelings on this, because for me, I've been enjoying this. I've been going out. I caught what was it, Friday night? I went out with a chick, Jennifer, and we turned in over 100 fish. I caught 90 of them. I wouldn't say that I caught 90 of them. We caught 90 of them, but I did a majority of the fishing while we ran around and did we went and did riddles for the guild commendations, as well as just completions for the gold hoarders. So I went out and I fished my butt off. And it was kind of glorious. Like, we turned in some stormfish that were 10K each. And it's like, bro, there's some money to be had there.
There is. So I have done some fishing, but not with a fishing pole. Yesterday, I set sail and I saw a sloop parked next to a sea post. Of which I shot myself over to the sea post, killed the pirate, took all of his fish, sunk his ship, and sold his fish. So I did my fair fishing yesterday. Now, so why this event I think is good. So there are obviously fishers out there. They like to fish in Sea of Thieves, and that's great. I don't understand it. I don't like fishing in any game that's not I push a button and everything is automatic. That is my fishing, like AFK fishing, like I used to do in Star Wars Galaxies, where I had a macro, I push a button, I walk away, I make food, I drink some coffee, I come back, 3 hours later, my inventory's full of fish or whatever I was crafting at the time. I do what I need to do with that, and I can walk away again. That is my type of fishing. That is my type of crafting in video games. But people love it. I know. There was a lot of people at Festive Legend that talk about the fun that they have fishing, and I think having an event that's promoting the Hunter's Call and giving something to those folks who do like fishing, I think is really good for the game. I wish they would take the time, and I hope it's coming, where they do something nice for the Hunter's Call. Maybe it be fishing voyages, maybe it be increasing that reputation cap to add them to the normal prestige system. I think that would be really nice, and again, another way to give to those players who do like doing the Hunter's Call stuff. But for me, fishing is find a fisherman, kill him, sink his ship, take the fish. That is my fishing.
Oh boy, there's so much to say about that.
Pirate.
I don't know that that's what the Merricks would have wanted.
Look, the Merricks don't have to want it. The Merricks have set forth to me commendations which say turn in fish. It does not say catch fish. It says turn in fish.
Yeah.
Thus, sinking ship, taking fish, turn in fish counts.
Fair. But then you go and talk to the shipwrights, and they're like, you want fish on plaque? Fish need to be caught.
No. I can kill pirate, take fish, hand to shipwright, and they nail it to a plaque. They don't have to know how I acquired fish.
I feel like those have to be caught.
I think you're right. I think the placards do have to be caught. Which again, I have my specific look that I go with on my boat, and trust me, there are no talking bass hanging anywhere on my ship.
Well, I mean, I'm sorry. It's a shame because I think that honestly some of those talking bass are actually really adorable.
Also, I think if you're interested in a there might be deadliest catch. There might be like a deadliest catch simulator that you can probably download on Steam somewhere if you want to be a troller or a hauler of fish. I prefer pirate, flintlock, cannon, gunpowder, steel.
No, that's fair. When you pirate hard, and I don't blame you for that. There's just definitely points in my day where I'm thinking like, I don't think I can actually open up another gold vault right now. I need to do something different.
That I agree with.
So that is where I'm like, oh, you know what? I think doing little 1-page riddles and heading out and doing some fishing and stuff. I think I'll stare at cute little things and get mad at Ruby Splash Tails.
Well, here, next time that you don't want to do riddles or you don't want to kill skeletons and you would like to just dip your little pole in the water, you get a brig up, you give me a ring. I'll take a rowboat around and I'll do these gold vaults. I'll do all these riddles. I'll do the skeleton killing, and you just keep feeding me fish turn-ins. That'll be the trade.
Well, so here's the funny thing. One of the things that I know that happens over at Sightless Combat streams when Patty and Mina and them go sailing is they usually end the night with a bunch of fishing. So there's always that as an option. They still go out and they still do piratey stuff, but they generally do like some fishing afterwards.
Well, I just can't. Last time I was actually sitting here thinking, last time I actually fished in this game, I was like, oh, I need some good food because I just have starting supplies because I just set sail going. So I'm like, I'm going to fish. So I flung the rod in there and I didn't get the left or right and it broke. And I'm like, screw it. I'm just doing coconuts. I'm like, I can't.
Wow. Wow. Well, I'm sorry that life is just a little.
My pirate's fat and lazy. Okay. He needs the exercise of PvP.
Yeah. Use that excuse. Eat healthier.
Yeah. Well,
stick to bananas.
That's why I need to steal someone's fish. I'm eating all these sugary pineapples and pomegranates and fruit. I need some protein I need lean protein. So someone needs to catch me fish. All the sugary bad stuff for me. I just get out of barrels.
Can't you just like go get some chicken and some pig and some snake?
Well, I got poisoned by a snake indefinitely yesterday and had to die. So
look, we're not going to bring up that bug.
Snakes.
We're not on
talking terms.
We don't have to bring that bug up. That bug has just been in the game for a long time. We understand that.
Yeah, it's a thing.
So fishing Hunter's Call boosts. Funny enough that's the thing that they decided to roll with for this weekend. I'm glad that they do like have something this weekend because it was nice to actually kind of like take a break and focus on this for the moment. I've definitely done way more fishing the last like 3 days than I have in years, probably since the last time they had like one of these updates. But needless to say, I think that they are at least doing a pretty good job with trying to keep up live events.
Yeah. And what I've enjoyed about what they're doing is they're not just Golden Glory, right? They're actually taking that benefit of Golden Glory and really putting it around a focus, which why I like that approach. And I know a lot of people just like Golden Glory because you can just turn everything into Reapers and happy day. But or for that matter, you can drop it at the Sovereigns, but again, you're only going to get the super bonus if you're turning in stuff for the grade 5 flag that you have, or you can do the guild, right? What I like about this is instead of just everything, blank slate, everything is just crazy good. They're saying, okay, you people who like to fish, here's a weekend just for you. Go out, have fun, get rewarded a lot. Okay, you PvP folks, here's a time just for you. Go out, get sweaty in your hourglass, have a good time, right? They're picking on different groups of people who enjoy playing the game in certain ways and giving them that opportunity to get additional rewards. And it also opens up the ability for other players who kind of just dabble or have no interest in that because the reward for them is not worth the investment of time, and then can pull some of those players in, and it gives them data on certain things. For example, as Drew mentioned, Fight Nights, that event gave them a lot of data about the health of Hourglass and stuff for them to make adjustments. I don't know what adjustments they could make on the Hunter's Call piece, but maybe if in the back rooms at Rare they're cooking up something for the Hunter's Call in the future, maybe this event gave them some data to tweak and adjust or add to or subtract from whatever that thing is that they're working on, if they're working on it.
Yeah. And the Fight Night thing is an interesting grab too, because we got some news about that in the Sea of Thieves news video that came out. One of the things that they talked about was the fact that there was a large increase in the number of reports that came out as a result of the Fight Night, and they want to bring that into the rotation for their live calendar, which to me suggests that they are actively like building out weekly content boosts finally, that they're finally like committing to putting out every weekend, having something unique about the game, something I've been talking about for a long time, something that you and I know like has been something that's been part of World of Warcraft for a long time with their calendars. And it's nice to know that they're actively taking those focal weekends, those important weekends, to kind of take a look at the data and see like this is where things are kind of doing well or not doing well, and they're able to actually see what is popular compared to other weekends, and where they can actually take a look and say like, okay, well, we did Hunter's Call weekend, nobody participated, very small percentage of interaction with it. Where do we need to grow that area to make it more interesting? Same thing with like Merchants Alliance. If they go do a Merchants weekend, nobody does anything with it. Maybe they can sit there and take a look and be like, okay, well, nobody's engaging with merchants, especially on a weekend where it's double rep, double gold. So maybe we need to take a look and see if there's something we can shake up in the Merchants Alliance to make it more compelling and go from there.
Yeah. And I think they probably, like, obviously they're getting a lot of data here, regardless of if it's, data is data. You may want to have a certain outcome, but that's the benefit of getting data, is what you want, the outcome of what you want in these events might not be what the data shows. And then you can assess, well, did the outcome that actually happened, is it better or worse than what we wanted? And if it's better, it's like, oh, maybe we should then lean into this a little bit more. If it's worse, it's like, well, how do we tweak this? Like, for example, as you mentioned, the Hunter's Call, if they see not many people participated in it this weekend, it's like, maybe we missed it. Like, maybe we missed this slightly. How do we tweak it for next time in order to get more participation? Like, what could we juice it up? And I don't think it's gold and reputation. I don't think increasing that even more would do it. How do we juice this in a way that people might engage with that? Again, who knows?
I can tell you right now.
Is important. What?
The easiest way to fix this, honestly, is to have certain fish spawn at an increased rate on the map.
Some of the rare fish or something like that?
Yeah, like some of the rare fish have spawn rates that are increased, or certain we'll take I think World of Warcraft common language between us, a good example of how to address this. In World of Warcraft, when you go out to the ocean or go to a lake, you can go along the coastline and you'll see a fervent swimming pool of fish. You mouse over it, it will tell you what fish are in that pool of water. You throw your bobber into that pool, and for a certain number of fish caught or attempts made, you will get a higher chance of getting that fish. We have little swirlies around the world that tell us where sunken shrines are. We have icons on the map that tell us when players are moving chests. It would be very easy for Rare to start developing a system that shows you where hotspots for fish are if you're under a Hunter's Call emissary flag. So that way you could sail from island to island and you could fish up stuff normally. You could fish up whatever you normally would expect in the seas. But if you're out there looking for these particular things, especially if they're rarer, then you could actually take advantage of some of the the different types of fish that are, like the bone dust or the twilight shadow or the twilight stormfish or the shadow stormfish or, the wreckers, make those a little more known to be around like shipwrecks and stuff, things like that to try and drive engagement with those little pools to kind of incentivize players to do more fishing.
I like everything that you said there, especially the part where you said mark it on the world map, so that I can see where I need to go to steal someone's fish. I like everything you just said there.
Yeah, make it a point of interest for the map on, if you want to go get some rare fish that maybe just, migrated from a different area of the world. Not everyone wants to go out to the roar to go fish up devilfish. A school of devilfish have migrated over into the wilds. Now, if you sail over to Kraken's Fall, you will now see that there's 2 or 3 pools around that island where they are hanging out, and there's devilfish, and there's little swirly markers on the map that will indicate that those are where like the little fishing guys are.
You're bringing back memories of my childhood when my dad would take my what was it, Nintendo or Sega Genesis away and play his bass fishing game and like take his little boat and like troll around until like the fish finder lights up and it's like, oh, I'm gonna fish here for a while. I'm like, that's what you're bringing back to me. But I'm also reminded of a community that I've been part of for Sea of Thieves for years, and they for a while they would have seasons before seasons existed, and each season there would be a list of achievements to try to get, and if you got some of these achievements and provided video evidence of the achievement being completed, you got like a title in your Discord, right?
Yeah.
And one of the achievements for one of the seasons was you have to steal a fish off the hook of a fishing player without being caught. So you had to get away. You had to steal the fish off of their pole and get away without getting caught. That was very challenging.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think those are some of just the easy things that they could probably introduce, especially for like a Hunter's Call weekend. If you're just looking to drive engagement with Hunter's Call, I think having ways to increase the spawn rate in localized areas on the map that are marked for players to understand, that's what's going on. That would be a fantastic way to do it, whether there's an emissary or not.
Right. Nope. I agree with you.
So
100%.
All in all, I think that it's nice that they have the Hunter's Call stuff kind of going on. I'm looking forward to, after this month going into October, what they plan to do, because it's going to be spooky season. It's already spooky season for me. I'm looking forward to some Fort of the Dam stuff.
I'm looking forward to some Order of Souls boosting.
That'd be good too.
Because rings.
Because rings. it's a one track. It's the same goal every single time.
I've been watching the Lord of the Rings TV show on Amazon, so rings are on my mind. I saw the picture of the Prestige 5 ring for Order of Souls. Look, I needs it. I needs the rings.
So, okay. I want to go back to the video because I know that there's going to be a lot of stuff as far as like fishing jacket. They're bringing in some new corset tops, which actually look like attractive tops for pirates that would be wearing them at that time. Like they're trying to actually make like women's clothing that actually is something other than a dress, which I will always commend them for. But they're also bringing in things like the flaming jackal weapons and fishing rod. Now, I know that you've had a long history with PvP groups and the arena in general. Very much love the fact that competitive gameplay kind of in your blood. How do you feel about the flaming jackal stuff coming into the game, knowing that it is not something that's brought in through arena anymore, and that this should have been stuff that they brought to arena before arena died?
No, I agree. Here's the thing with the the arena ship sets. So that was a award. The arena ship sets were for those folks who played in arena before it got shut down. I don't know if they'll ever bring them back for you to unlock in another way. I don't know. There were other awards that, like the triumphant and some of the glorious stuff. And then there was obviously, if you made a certain rank and did a certain achievements, there was the legendary, the Athena's weapons that they have reskinned those at this point. But the original skins, are still from that, and I think they're even those are even a reskin of the year one Pirate Legend stuff. But I don't have a problem with them keeping that story, keeping those iconic ships, right? They're very simple colors, primary colors, simple things. Mm-hmm. I have no issue with them keeping that because they match different people's outfits and things like that. So I think this is fine. Obviously, there's probably new players, PlayStation players, newer players on Xbox and PC. They don't have any idea where the Flaming Jackal came from or any of that, but they might enjoy it and might have the nice little flaming coin on it. So I don't have an issue with them continuing those. I encourage it, actually. I would like to see the full weapon set of each of the colors with the emblems on it. What I will say, though, is I hope it stops there. I don't want to see them bring back the triumphant, the glorious, the legendary stuff. I don't want them to see that come back because people grinded a lot of time and energy to get those, and they're proud of those and they wear them with pride. But as far as the Flaming Jackal, I can't even remember all of them, Azure Tang, the Good Boy, I would love to see them bring out full equipment, full weapon, full suits of everything. And I think that would get them away from, are you getting tired of the eastern winds, western winds, northern winds, southern winds, hell winds, whatever winds sets that they keep doing? I know I am. So I think this can give them another alternative to all the wins sets that they do for Twitch drops and stuff like that. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you on those points. I feel like with the sets that we've kind of seen a large majority of recolors for, those sets are getting a little tired. I do think that they need to really just kind of do away with those, get some fresh sets out, stop kind of peddling the recolors on us, and just leave it.
Put pause on them. Just pause them, right?
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I was just curious what this link took me to on my pirate thing, the Twitch drop page. I thought maybe it took me and showed me which Twitch drops I got, but like, don't get me wrong. The Eastern Wind Sapphire stuff looks really nice, and I'm sure there's people out there who like that tan color with the nice blue gem. But we've had the Eastern Winds Sapphire and Eastern Winds Ruby and Eastern Winds this and that, and it's just like I'm kind of getting tired of the Eastern Wind stuff. Again, it's a recolor of the Ashen Dragon stuff, right?
Yeah,
I'm just kind of getting tired of that line. Put a pause on it. Let's do maybe the Flaming Jackal stuff or the Good Boy stuff or something like that for a little bit, then come back to and release some more of the Wind stuff if that's what you want to do, if you've got some of that in the backlog. But I would like to see just a pause on this because I'm really just I'm burnout on the Eastern Wind stuff or the Wind stuff in general, and I think they're going to run into that same thing with the Stalwart Sea Dog stuff, right? Because that's just another recolor. I'm like, let's put a pause on it and let's try something completely different and then maybe come back to this in the future.
I think that some of the better sets, because I was thinking about what you were talking about and I kept wondering, like, why are we just having like the Eastern Wind stuff kind of being like the main stuff that they kind of push out to us? I think it's because a lot of the unique stuff that we get on a regular basis is actually coming to the season pass. Have you checked out like the season pass content? Like,
oh, it's great.
It's really good looking stuff, but it's all rewards.
Yep. Yeah, I do not have, I'll be honest with you. You know me in cosmetics. I don't change my cosmetics a whole lot, but I do always look through the season pass. I have a rule that unless I hit 100, which I normally do, I don't buy the plunder pass. That's kind of my incentive, where if there's stuff in the plunder pass that I want, to make sure I invest that time and energy into it. Again, Sea of Thieves plunder pass, and that is pretty simple to get through to begin with. But yeah, some of the cosmetics in this is really nice. I mean, heck, grade 2, you get this really cool looking beard, right? We were just talking earlier about the really awesome fish skeleton sword. It looks really great. You've got some, like at 78, some really nice pantaloons, like not my style, but could definitely go with someone's outfit, with the kind of the gold leaf around the legs. Like, just they really doing a great job as far as the artistic pieces. I mean, heck, I love the Bloodstone Dragon jacket. Again, not something I'm going to wear probably, but that jacket looks really nice, and the ship set looks really nice too on the more premium pass. You got the sword and the Flameheart Revenge sails, which look really, really nice. I agree, they're doing a great job on that, on the plunder pass, and I understand the plunder pass is a way for them to generate revenue where Twitch drops isn't. But it would still be nice in my mind to really have some change up in the Twitch drops, and maybe throw us a bone or two, and not necessarily always have some of these really cool things in the plunder pass, but also some cool stuff in the Twitch drops as well, and not just recolors.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. I'm sure that we probably will get stuff like that. It's just a matter of time before they get that kind of
Obsidian
pushed out.
Capstan, next Twitch drops. Mike, please. Let me complete it. Just let me do it. I have it on Insiders. I want it in the game, in the live game. It's the last piece I need.
It's all right.
It's the last piece. It just doesn't look right with the I have the Celtic wolf set capstan, and it just doesn't match.
Just use the eternal I can't think of the name of it. The Jack Sparrow stuff. Eternal Bond? I think it's the Eternal Bond set that has the most of it is just really dark and black.
It's just really black. Yep, I know what you're talking about.
That's kind of a good go-to. Or the ghost stuff. Not gonna lie, ghost stuff is pretty good. You could always just go with the one that has the candles. I love the candles on the capstan.
Candle one's nice. Actually, the Pirate Talk Radio brig is using the candle hell. So it's got the two like sconce candles on either side of the wheel. I do like that one.
I'll have to take a look at that one, because I can't quite pick that one out.
Yep. I don't know I don't know what the actual name of it is called. But it's is there a way on the website to be like, click this ship, tell me what's equipped on the ship? Because I could tell you really quick what's equipped on the ship, but I don't think there's I don't think there's a way to actually do that.
You actually have to you'd have to boot up the game and actually take a look at the what's it called? The actual guilds, probably, or your ships. One of the things that I wanted to touch on is kind of what Drew talked about with the most replayed section of the community news update. And that's to do with Fight Night, the reports for cheating increasing, and work that they want to do there to ensure that they are trying to find better ways to prevent cheaters. Here's the big one for me: launch exploits. To gain an advantage in a fight. That is a priority fix. The number of tweets that I've seen or streamers come out and defend launch exploits because it's not an exploit, they're doing something with the animations and the mechanics. The number of times I hear people make this argument of like, oh well, anyone can do it, so it's not an exploit, or oh well, it's not, Rare hasn't said it's an exploit. It's like, okay, how about we just take a look at what the intended use of things are and play as if we are like all agreeing, okay, if you want to use cursed cannonballs, use cursed cannonballs in Hourglass. I don't care. Go ahead, do it. But don't break the game to try and win a match, because you're not actually skilled at that point. You're abusing the mechanics. And if you're skilled enough to do it, whatever. But if you can't, if you have to win with that, it's not really a win.
No, completely agree. And here's the thing, and this has honestly been the a tale of as old as time, right?
Yeah.
So the first time that this was kind of brought up was X cancel or quick swapping of your guns, right?
Yep.
That was not ever an intended thing, but PvP players viewed it as a skill gap, right? I can do it. I'm better than you at PvP because I can do this quick swap and I can shoot you twice before you can reload. That is a skill issue on your part, not mine. I'm better than you. And you know, it's been a tale as old as time when it comes to that. This launching or this lunging type exploit is the same thing. I figured out how to do this. The game lets me do this because that's the code that Rare has put out. Clearly, if I'm doing it and you're not, I'm more skilled than you, so I'm going to use this skill over you. And that's not how it should be, right? This is a issue in the code. Rare is now obviously clearly aware of it, and they're going to adjust it. But that's what people don't understand. It's just like loot sprinting. Now, for the longest time, right, that was I can do it. That makes me more skilled than you. Rare came out and said, we're okay with it being in the game. Let's go all the way back to the beginning. The sword lunge itself as a movement ability, that was never intended to be that way. And they've came out and said, yeah, we're okay with it. But there are certain things that give you a competitive advantage over someone else that they're not okay with. Quick swapping your guns, they're not okay with. And though it still exists in the game, it's harder to do now because people still do it all the time.
Yeah.
But it's less prevalent because it's not as easy. It's not as fluid as it used to be. Now we have this lunging exploit. They have clearly said this is an exploit. This is not intended. We're going to stop it, but I strongly suggest you stop it now.
Yeah. This falls in line with stuff like shooting up from the bottom of a sloop to hit someone above you. Like there is a certain amount of like, okay, this is not how the game is intended to work. It's not Call of Duty. You can't wall bang people. You shouldn't be able to wall bang people, which is effectively a ricocheted shot off of a wall. By the way,
correct.
For those that don't know what wall banging is in Call of Duty, if you kill someone with a wall bang, it's because the bullet reflected off of a wall and it still hit the person that was hiding or running away. Sometimes you can shoot through certain materials as well too, and those materials are more like doors and stuff, not like walls.
Right.
So I think it's good that the dev team actually called this out. I appreciate when they call out the exploits when they do, because then it kind of says like, here's the line in the sand. You want to cross that line, be prepared for the consequences. We're working on a fix.
Drew has been very clear about that. Like, if I call this out as an exploit and you do it, you're done. Like, period, you're done.
Yeah. So really glad to see that. The other part of it has to do, there's one other thing that they learned from the fight nights that I wanted to call out, and that was the getting stuck underwater issue. Yes. That was something that really was bugging me the last few times I've gone out and done Hourglass, is that the emerging where you're still underwater and it messes with your cannon shots and you can't see where you have to actually shoot. It's really frustrating. So I'm glad that they're working on that. Overall, Hourglass, I think, needs some love. There needs to be some changes to it, and there are going to be some changes to it that recently came up in a forum post that I was really surprised came out. So Drew actually went onto the forums and started to address things in more detail beyond what just came out with the actual news. So I'm going to read from some of this to kind of make sure that you guys get some of the verbatim for it so that way you can kind of know what's going on. But effectively, he went on there to address the player reports and the community discussion on harassment and cheating. There's been a lot of that. And honestly, it's no different with any game. I see this with every community I've ever been in in any game. I think I'm not gonna lie, the only community that I've never seen this on, I kid you not, Fallout 76.
I was about waiting for you to say Destiny, and I was going to scream.
No. Destiny, much like Overwatch 2, super toxic.
I haven't seen the one that I haven't seen cheating on, Contra. That is where that community doesn't cheat. Contra. That's nope. Never.
Are you talking
up,
about
down,
the
left,
old
right,
game?
left, right, up, down, never
Really?
cheat in Contra. That
Oh my
community
God.
is known for not cheating. Up, down, left, right, select, start.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. Getting back to kind of the harassment and the cheating aspect of it, I see this in every single video game with the exception of Fallout 76. Maybe no, I'll even say that I've seen harassment in Animal Crossing. Definitely in Mario Kart, but definitely Animal Crossing too. The number of times people have smacked me on the head with a net, that's a report. I don't care.
What does that do?
It frustrates me.
Okay.
That's all I got on that one.
Lucky I don't have Animal Crossing, or I would get on your little island.
Well, here's the you would have to get onto my island first. That's the other harassment part of it too. There's a restraining order. But the not to make light of the harassment or cheating on Sea of Thieves. Let me make that absolutely clear. I do not condone or appreciate anyone harassing or cheating in Sea of Thieves. It degrades the community as well as the gameplay. Overall, it just kind of really frustrates people. Yellowbeard Errors report for August 30th. On Friday, August 30th, we received reports that a small number of our active streamers and members of the community became disconnected from the game and appeared to receive temporary bans. For some players, this also coincided with targeting from malicious actors within the game. Our live team quickly discovered a vulnerability in our support toolset that allowed these actions to take place. The player support team reinstated access to all players within 10 minutes, and the vulnerability was subsequently patched within an hour. This was an isolated issue with the support toolset and didn't affect the wider game or any player's information as a result. Let's see, we were only vulnerable for a short period of time. Some players experienced unacceptable behavior that is in breach of our code of conduct. This vulnerability has now been resolved. Stuff like this, I think, is important to come out beyond just an actual forum post. It speaks to a wider mindset that says, like, they're not okay with this. There's a code of conduct. There is a terms of service. You mess with that, you're going to lose your account. Have fun buying a new copy of Sea of Thieves.
Yep. Yeah, and to I know there's more in that article, right? There's more in that post, I believe, when it starts talking about Hourglass, correct? So to kind of lead off on what you're saying as far as, good luck buying an account. In this article, they do continue to talk about that and some of the changes, right, that they're going to move on, because there is, to your point, there is no place for harassment. There is no place for cheaters. There's no place, and exploiters are cheaters. Let's be honest. Yeah. Like let's call it what it is. If you are doing something that the game is not intending, regardless if you think it's a skill base or not, if it is not in the game as intended, you are cheating. You are a cheater. Just because it's an exploit does not mean it's not cheating. And the thing that I would like to see is, with easy anti-cheat, that was a good first step. We obviously have to evolve that. We have to make that system better. And I think they're going to continue to do that. But what seems to me is another issue is, Rare can take these steps to beard error you. They can take these steps to ban you, but good luck buying another copy of the game. I don't know how these folks are doing it, but it seems like, based on what Rare has reported, that a lot of these cheaters are repeat offenders, but on a different account. And I feel like they need to try to get creative, figure out, maybe partner with Microsoft. I don't know how that whole thing works, to try to make sure that these folks who are utilizing cheats, actual software cheats, folks who are then harassing or doing inappropriate things in the game, hurting the experience for others, are not allowed ever to be on Sea of Thieves. I don't care if they buy another copy of the game. I don't care if they plug it into another network port at their house. They should not be able to play Sea of Thieves. And I feel like, with some of the stuff that is out there in the harassment and the inappropriate things that are being said by these people who are cheating, I really honestly feel like Microsoft has a horse in this race that should be like, you're never playing on Xbox again, because that has to be breaking Microsoft's terms of service as well.
Yeah, a lot of that is tough to say, like how far the actual ban will go, because you're not wrong. There is there's temporary bans, there's like account bans, then they have like hardware bans, and then they have even like IP level bans. Unfortunately, there's ways to spoof all that. You can spoof hardware IDs. You can spoof VP or IPs with VPNs. There's ways to get around it, which is frustrating because you can do so much, but eventually, if they want to cheat, they will find a way. They've already found a way to break the game. They're probably not too bothered by having to like spoof their hardware ID or get a VPN to be able to continue to harass people on the game.
Yeah, and I guess I again, and obviously I'm in the tech world. You know, I've dealt with hackers and people like that in business. Yes, you can use VPNs and stuff, but at the end of the day, one thing that I will say, unless someone is dumping a absolute ridiculous ton of money into their home network in order to actually have a server in their house which is running the VPN, routing all the traffic, versus just a regular network switch or router that most people do from their ISPs. You know, I've played several indie developed games where it's not the computer that they ban. It's not the Xbox that they ban. It's not the PlayStation that they ban. You know, they actually target your internet service provider's modem. So it's like, if you are connecting from that, no. And so you would literally have to have some pretty beefy hardware with some pretty expensive software on there to you know, get around that. But again, it's the internet coming into the actual place that they can ban MAC addresses, et cetera, on. Again, I don't know how that plays with like Microsoft's terms and service, though. That's kind of where I'm not sure. Because it's a Microsoft game, I'm not sure how it authenticates, right? Would doing a ban like that cause other Microsoft games to not work? Are they allowed to do that? That's kind of where the cloudiness for me is. And can Sea of Thieves legally, with their contract with Microsoft, do that kind of stuff?
As far as I know, yes. But whether they do or don't depends solely on the severity of the report.
Right.
I'm glad that they're doing this. There's even more, though, that I'd like to get into. They've also updated their content or their commitment to player safety. So Drew goes on to say, one of the realities of operating an online game is in the ongoing work to keep our game secure and defend against the ever-present threat of cheat developers. It's through this route that our community can sometimes meet people with malicious intent, and therefore cheat prevention is an area we are continuously actively working to improve. I would say that that's pretty accurate for
that's an accurate statement.
Everyone. Like, I don't think that they've ever stopped trying to prevent cheaters. It's just an ongoing thing.
Yep.
He goes on to say, in March this year, we integrated Easy Anti-Cheat, Epic Games' industry-leading solution to help ensure a fairer experience for all players. While this initial integration halted many active cheat engines, we are now starting to see some of them return. We are committed to ongoing work to harden our security, and along this commitment, we are performing a full internal review across our game and our processes. I think that's pretty good. I know.
Yeah, it was a good write-up. So here's what I think. As we know, this is Rare's first live service game, right?
Yeah.
Even 6 years in, I mean, I'm pretty sure if you called Mike up on the phone right now and say, hey, are you still learning stuff about, you know, how to run a live service game? Mike would be honest and be like, yeah, we learn stuff every single day. And I think now, you know, they've had the game for 6 years. There's always, you know, there's always been some sort of cheater out there, and they've just gotten more and more in there because, one, the popularity of the game, but two, now you have a competitive PvP system, just like back in Arena, right? Now you have another competitive system in there again. So that's going to summon out the cheaters. They got Easy Anti-Cheat. Great, huge step for them. But I think what they're learning now is they can't just be like, okay, we have Easy Anti-Cheat. It slowed things down. We're good for a little bit. We'll come back to it and reassess later. Like, I think they're starting to learn that keeping easy anti-cheat and keeping it to a point to reduce as many cheaters as possible is literally a daily activity. They're going to have to constantly be spending resources to counteract the cheaters. And that's just, I mean, that comes down to the world that we live in just be honest, info security in general. You've got to constantly be having someone monitoring, adjusting, and upping the game, because the cheaters are just going to up their game, and you have to be in front of them as much as possible. And I think that's a new learning that they're just now starting to get into.
One of the things that I want to call out as well too is this is not something that is unique to Sea of Thieves. EA's game Apex Legends, the developers have recently revealed that they ban more than 100,000 accounts every month for cheating. Yep. This is Apex Legends, 100,000 accounts every month for cheating, and they also have easy anti-cheat. One of the things that they said is that the Respawn has tried mitigating the issue as much as possible, relying on easy anti-cheat to combat the efforts of rule breakers. As such, cheaters and hackers who don't slip by the goalie get hit with account bans. For sake of transparency, the developers revealed the status of their ongoing battle against cheaters. They disclosed in a blog post that more than 6 million accounts have been banned since launch, plus over 100,000 accounts getting banned on average every month. The developer studio continues to invest in increasing efforts, specifically expanding the anti-cheat team to provide 24/7 coverage. They said that we've improved our processes, rolled out additional capabilities, and are continuing to deploy new tools and technologies faster than ever. Yep. This is Apex Legends. This is a free-to-play battle royale online competitive shooter, and even they deal with tons and tons of people hacking and cheating to play their game. So it's no small thing. So folks that are upset that Sea of Thieves is having cheaters, congratulations. You are now opened your eyes to the rest of the gaming community, because it's everywhere, and it always probably will be in this case. So try to recognize that the studios are constantly trying to evolve and change their tactics to prevent cheaters, but it's never going to be a cheater-free experience. Maybe when a game first comes out and it's kind of low-key and nobody plays it, you'll run into a pretty good amount of time where you don't have to worry about cheaters, but they're always going to be there.
Yep. Yeah, and as you read with that Apex Legends thing, 24/7 365 team that is literally on this at all times now. And that's where I was saying Rare is learning every day. And I think with some of these more focused teams on different aspects of the game, they're realizing if they want their game to succeed and they want their game to grow or evolve, they don't want it to go away. That's their livelihood. That's what they've spent their careers building, that they now have to approach their development and stability of this game differently, especially when it comes to cheaters. They don't have a 24/7 365 team. I guarantee it. They don't. Yeah. And now they're not as big as Apex Legends by any stretch of the imagination, but I think they are in the process right now of learning, because they've always had cheaters. We know there's always been cheaters, but they've never had cheaters at this level, at this rate, and who are quickly adapting. They've never had to deal with this before. So for them, I think they're in the learning game right now. And I know there's a lot of players out there who are frustrated when they log in and they go against cheaters and they see their favorite streamers go against whatever. They see the YouTube videos, they see the cheating everywhere, and they're frustrated. Why isn't Rare doing anything? Why isn't Rare doing anything? They are doing things, but for them, this is new. Like, this is new to them, right? Yeah. Like, it's not something that they have experience in. And for, I think a lot of people nowadays, we want instant gratification. Oh, we experienced a cheater. I want all cheaters out of my game right now. Like, right now, you have to get them all out. And it's an unfair ask. Is it a good ask for us to ask, can you take action on it? Can you work on this? That's a fair ask. But you can't just experience a cheater, even though how horrible and frustrating and bad those experiences are. It won't get fixed overnight. In fact, it'll never be 100% unless the game is a game where you can unplug from the internet and not play with anyone else. That is the only way that a video game will ever be. There won't be cheaters that mess with you, is if that game cannot in any way, shape, or form interact with another player. That's the only way.
Yeah, no, and I agree with you on there. Davram, you like numbers, and I know you like to look at
like numbers.
You like to look at Steam charts as kind of
I love Steam charts.
So just for comparison's sake, I'm gonna throw out some numbers for you. You tell me which is which. In the last 24 hours, 228,000 players are playing this game versus another game where 11,000 players are playing that game. Which do you think is Apex Legends, and which do you think is Sea of Thieves?
So the first one's Sea of Thieves.
The 228,000?
Oh, sorry. I thought you said 29,000. The second one's Sea of Thieves. The first one's Apex Legends.
Okay. You are correct. Yes. In the last 24 hours. Now, bear in mind, Epic is the main publisher for Apex Legends, whereas Microsoft is the main publisher for Sea of Thieves. So Steam is the secondary markets for these two games.
Correct.
228,000 in the last 24 hours.
Just on Steam.
Yeah, just on Steam. The average players for Sea of Thieves in the last 30 days is 7,000. The number of average players in the last 30 days for Apex Legends, 109,000.
Mm-hmm.
Vastly.
Just on Steam.
Yeah, just on Steam. Vastly
you
different
always have
numbers.
To call that out, because I'm not gonna lie, I've read the Steam charts out and then I get blown up in comments and everything else that they're like, that's not true, that's impossible, and I'm like, just on Steam. Like every time I say a
Luke
statistic,
Skywalker
like,
yelling at you.
Right.
That's not true. That's not possible.
Luke Skywalker chewing you out in the comments.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just on Steam, through that as a metric to be able to identify this, that's the difference we're looking at with a free-to-play game. So when they say that we have to ban 100,000 accounts every month, that's because there is no barrier to entry to play their game. Sea of Thieves is typically $40, $25 if it's on sale. So
correct, or you can buy Game Pass for what, 15?
Yeah. I don't even think you need. I think you can get it cheaper than that. I think you can actually get in even less than the 15 a month. But
it depends. If you're playing on PC, you have to have Ultimate, but isn't Ultimate like
no? If you have PC, you can just get the PC pass, which I think is $9.
You can get the PC pass. Okay, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But needless to say, the barrier to entry is still some monetary value and a new account whenever you want to do that. So it has to be done, or has to be taken into account, the player counts and stuff. But
what was Sea of Thieves? I don't have the Steam charts up in front of me. What was Sea of Thieves last 30 days?
It was 7,000.
So Apex Legends is banning 100,000 accounts a month.
Yep.
Sea of Thieves on Steam have 7,000 players in the past 30 days. Like,
yeah,
you have to. Sea of Thieves would be one of the largest games in the world if they were hitting numbers of 100,000 players a month, and that's just what Apex is banning for cheating.
Yeah, across all platforms.
Right.
Yeah, the Steam numbers are the equivalent. The average number of Steam players on Apex Legends is the same amount of people that they ban every month.
Right. They're banning an entire platform of their game every month.
Yes. To go on, they say alongside our game security, we're aware of the impact that ban evasion has within the experience and how frustrating it is to see malicious actors circumventing permanent account bans. We are exploring ways to mitigate against this at both a game and platform level. As part of coming updates, we'll be placing restrictions on certain parts of the experience that will require play time in order to access, such as locking hourglass behind a reputation lock. While these were not part of the feature's initial design, we want to add friction for cheat developers by placing barriers on cheaters to stop them impacting your play experience.
So this would be the point in your post edit where you put in the applause sound.
Yeah.
because when I read this, I could not agree more. Cheaters want instant gratification, right? They want to be able to log in. They want to be able to assert their digital dominance over you by cheating, make your experience horrible, make them feel really good because they just beat you by spawning on your ship and killing you before you can even move. That's what they want. They don't want to have to grind out Reaper levels or Athena levels in order to do this. They want to be able to log in, ruin your day, feel good about themselves, and be done. So putting in this barrier, and again, they didn't go into details. I don't know if you have details, if you found any other, of what that level lock is going to be, but I hope it is a significant one, like level 50 on Reapers or level 30 on Athena, like something significant where literally these cheaters who want that instant gratification look at that and be like, screw this, I'm going to cheat in another game.
Yeah, I hope so as well too. The other part that goes on to say recent reports show that in-game text chat is a common tool used by malicious actors to target players, and with this in mind, we are improving our profanity filtering before messages even reach players. We also plan to introduce a system that will monitor the content of chat messages more closely and provide moderation behind the scenes. We know that creating a safe and fair player experience is an ongoing focus, and by working across multiple areas, we can meaningfully disrupt the efforts of cheaters and protect our players. While these improvements are ongoing, I want to also remind players of the tools within the game settings that can be used to protect you online and mitigate the impact of malicious actors today. See this article on in-game safety options at the Sea of Thieves support site. If you believe that someone has broken our code of conduct or the Microsoft terms and conditions, please read the article at the link here and create a support ticket on how to report a player. This will be reviewed and the appropriate action taken by our support team. It's important that you report any encounters where you perceive someone to be cheating or abusive. This helps us better investigate the incident itself, but also helps us understand the full context of the scale of these issues. We are committed to improving the experience of our players and will continue to share updates on this topic regularly as we deliver improvements to the game over the coming months. Darum, every time I've run into someone who's either been toxic or cheating, I've reported them and gotten an email that said that my report was acknowledged and that action has been taken.
Yes.
I know that that's not the case for all people's reports. Some people's reports don't always get a response. Sometimes they get a response and it doesn't provide any feedback on what happened, but I always get some sort of feedback on there. I've always been very happy about that. One of the things that I think I see the most on Twitter in particular is when people put posts out there flaming the devs for the type of conduct that people have in their game, as if they have bred these people, raised them to be the horrible human beings that they are, and set them against this particular person. Mm-hmm. I don't understand, and maybe this is a failing on my part, but I'm genuinely hoping that the people that are making these posts are actively reporting the bad characters in this scenario.
I would say I agree with you, and I hope they are reporting them because, in general, you are correct. The rare is going to take action, and you get that email, right? You get that feedback. Now, here's the flip side of that: is some people get annoyed because I just got beat by someone who is legitimately better than me, and they report them anyways, and that your frustrations over losing to someone does not constitute a report, because that is more time that team desperately needs actually to find the real cheaters. However, in legitimate situations of cheating, I, like you, have always got the email back. It is also not Rare's responsibility to be the mommies and the daddies and the grandmas and the grandpas out there to raise people properly. These people who don't have any regard for decency because they're behind a screen and they're not actually in person to someone is not Rare's problem. Rare does everything they can to blur out speech, to change it to different characters, to stop the text from even coming through. They do what they can, but at the end of the day, you're dealing with a crap human being that doesn't know how to treat someone with respect over the internet. Like that's just how it is. Go on Twitter, go on any sort of platform, go into YouTube comments of like a Minecraft video that's meant for kids and designed for kids. Literally, the video is meant for children entertainment, not some of the other Minecraft videos, but this one's literally, and you will find people saying disgusting and awful things in the YouTube comments. That's not YouTube's role to raise this person right. This is not Rare's role to raise this person right. This person was raised improperly, or they're failing at life. It's just how it is. They're just a horrible human being, and Rare is going to do everything they can. But I agree with you. You shouldn't be going after Rare because some idiot somewhere in this world doesn't know how to speak to someone with proper respect because they're behind a screen and there's no ramifications for their actions.
Yeah, I know that most of the people out there that are posting a lot of these tweets are doing so with the intent to try and draw attention to it, which is good and a good way to do it. I hope that they are not calling out Rare as failing to act on this type of thing, because a lot of the time, and unfortunately this is most of the time that I see these tweets come out, a lot of it is like, I can't believe Rare is allowing the community to turn into this. And it's like, there's a lot to unpack in that statement that really doesn't address the truth of the matter. And it's not for me to feel like it's worth going into tonight, but I wanted to call this out because it's one thing to say there are toxic people in the game that are making the experience unfun. And I wanted to call this out to Rare so that they know that I'm unhappy with the state of the game because of the people and the ability that they have to harass others, which is why this forum post came out. Just ensure that you are doing your due diligence. Don't attack the devs. They're working on it. Put in the reports with the supporting evidence.
Yep. And again, the key there is supporting evidence. Yeah. Don't just because you got beat by someone throw in a report in hopes that that person, is going to be suspended because you reported them. That's not how the suspension system works. Like, they're going to look at it. They're going to look at your report. They're going to look at your evidence, if you have any, and they're going to make a decision based on that. And it's just, if someone is legitimately cheating or you feel they are, type in your stuff, put in your evidence. If someone is harassing you or they're saying things that are inappropriate, or you feel that they're inappropriate, or you feel that they break the Rare terms of service, put it in there with your screenshots and Rare will take care of it. To everyone out there saying Rare has built or is fostering this community of harassment and hate, all that I have to say to those people is, come to Fest of Legends, come to Sea of Thieves Fest, and you tell me that either of those community built, ran, and just amazing events has anything to do with hate and harassment. That is the majority of the Sea of Thieves community. That is what Rare cultivates, is those folks and those events of Sea of Thieves Fest and Fest of Legends. And I understand that there's cost involved in that. Not everyone is able to go, but look at the videos and look at the experiences that those people have. That is what Rare fosters. Rare does not foster the hate and harassment, period. End of story. It's and if you are blaming Rare for building a community of hate and harassment, then you're not actually opening your eyes to the community that Rare has actually, through this game, actively built. Because those are the people that are at Fest of Legends. Those are the people who are at Sea of Thieves Fest. That is the community that they wanted to foster, and that is the community that they have fostered. Everyone on the outsides, all these bad people, those are bad actors, and they're going to have that poor attitude and poor human behavior no matter if they're playing Sea of Thieves or if they're playing Animal Crossing and bombing Logun with a net. That's just them. They're just bad people.
Oh, I hate that so much. Hate that. I'm glad that they're working hard to try and do that. I hope that they're successful in this, because it's really frustrating to me when people can't just be cool about things. And for some reason, it's an issue that happens across the board, and I see it all the time. And I've seen many studios try and give power to the players to be able to try and mitigate some of this on their own. Never really works out. The best thing to do is honestly just build a team within, try and bolster your efforts, and give the tools, as many tools as possible, for the players to be able to quickly, accurately access the ability to report players.
Yep. And I think Rare has done a good job of improving that system from where it was.
Yeah.
And I think they can continue to improve that system, because there is a decent barrier still to report things. It's much better than what it was.
Oh, yeah.
But I still think it could be much more better than what it is.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with that. Some of the tools are coming in from Microsoft as well to allow, at least on Xbox, to be able to record audio for people who are in the game. They can actually record and say like, hey, this person said this and this and this, and you can clip an audio, put it into a report. It'll get deleted 24 hours after you've recorded it. So it's not hugging up stuff on your hard drive, and just that way you can just use it for the sake of reporting. Really nice tool. I'm glad that they implemented it. So definitely a possible way to try and get supporting evidence if you're on console.
So the other thing I want to touch on this before we wrap this particular topic up is people who are also out there flaming Rare for being suspended or being banned, and then other folks are on the bandwagon. Yeah, my friend has never done anything wrong, blah, blah, blah. Here's a clip of them not doing anything wrong. And you watch the clip and it's like, except you just broke the terms of service in that clip. And then people say, well, what do you mean? I didn't break the terms of service. And you can point out to them, right here, you said this, or right here you did. Even though I know this is not, right here you loot juggled, right? That's allowed, but right here you loot juggled, and that is against the terms of service of the game. It's cheating. And they're like, well, why? Because the game allows me to do it. That doesn't mean that it's not against the terms of service. So I always encourage people. I understand when you're installing the video game, you click accept, and you never read any of that stuff. It's very important to read that stuff, because when you click accept, that is a legal document that you are agreeing to. And if you haven't read it, you don't know what you're agreeing to. And I always harken back to when Baldur's Gate 3, the new Baldur's Gate game, came out, right? There was a known person that got banned on their Xbox. Their Xbox account got banned because they were using the Xbox built-in software to record some of the sexual nature things that you can partake in Baldur's Gate 3. And they got banned for it. And they were mad because they're like, well, this is an Xbox game. I was using the Xbox recording thing in the game to record this moment in an Xbox game. I'm like, yes, except in the terms of service, it says you cannot use the in-game or the Xbox recording feature to record inappropriate content. And yes, it is a game you can play on your Xbox, but you are utilizing an Xbox software for something that's against the rules, thus you are banned for it. And that's what I always try to point out to people is read the terms of service, know the terms of service, and if you get banned for breaking the terms of service, don't be a whiny baby because you chose not to be informed.
Yeah, it's tough. There's a lot of expectation on players to be able to
read,
to go in and actually know like what they're allowed and what they're not allowed to do. So it's unfortunate because they don't necessarily make it easy for people to easily digest a lot of that stuff. Like I just recently,
right. It's all legalese.
Yeah, I just recently jumped onto Call of Duty through Game Pass on my PC. And for whatever reason, I had to go through like all the terms and services and agreements and stuff. But they at least kind of break it down like, hey, this is our ethics information. Like this is the stuff that we expect you to do. This is the I'm a good sportsman thing to read through. And you have to go through and you have to acknowledge each independent thing, because at the end of the day, they're going to be like, hey, if you're being mean, if you're not being cool about something and you're being mean, you're just being a generally like not pleasant person, you're going to lose your access.
Yeah.
What you looking at?
I'll tell you in a second, because I'm going to lead into this a little bit. So there is, and you will know what this is. There are 7 articles. Okay, it's not the terms of service, but there are 7 articles, and if you want to know where they are, log into the game and go to any tavern. It is the pirate code. If you break those articles, or you think you might be breaking those articles, you're breaking the rules. Don't do it. I mean, right off the bat, everyone is welcome in Sea of Thieves, regardless of who you are. Therefore, if you're sending out racial, gender, age, sex slurs at someone or things like that, guess what? You're not being welcoming to everyone. You're breaking the rules. You're probably going to get banned or suspended. You know, just that is your too long don't read as far as the end user license agreement that you agreed to. Yes, are there more things in that end user license agreement that probably play into cheating and very specifics of what you can and can't do? Absolutely. Like, they're not going to put that in a simple way like that when we were talking about the Xbox recording of Baldur's Gate footage. They're not going to put that in there. But basically, real simple. Follow articles 1 through 7 of the Pirate Code. It's on seaofthieves.com/pirate code. And if you even think in your head for a brief moment, what I'm doing here might be, just don't do it. Just don't do it. You know,
Needless to say,
that's what it comes down to. Just be a good, respectful human being.
Needless to say, it's kind of beating a dead horse at this point. We know that there are good people out there. The good people that are getting harassed do deserve justice for the people that are harassing them. Just make sure you're doing it the proper way and not relying on social media to necessarily draw attention to it, because it's not something that has really changed in the last some number of years in Sea of Thieves, let alone the game industry in general. Not to give it an apologetic means, but again, every report I've ever put in, I've gotten a good response from.
Exactly.
The one last thing I wanted to jump into is 2 changes to the weapon balances. They are ceasing any further changes to the weapons right now. They understand people are takes a while for people to warm up to change. People don't like change in general. So they're going to hold off on any kind of expansions to the armory until people get a chance to really get comfortable with the new changes. Some of the things that they're going to be doing, which I'm honestly very confused about, they're making quicker animations for the throwing knife and reliability on the throw.
I'm okay with it.
I already feel like the throwing knife is really powerful.
It is, but for me, and they didn't specifically say the animation was specifically around the throw. They just said they were making changes. It could be the clunky animation for me in the throwing knife is actually switching to the stab and the stab animation. That one feels clunky to me. The prepare to throw and aim, that feels pretty fluid, but the big change was travel time, how fast the throwing knife goes from hand to target. That, I think, is a good improvement. Now, I don't want them to speed it up so it's like a freaking lightning bolt from Zeus, right? Mm-hmm. Like, it shouldn't be that fast. But I think a little speed change there would be nice. And like I said, I would like to see a little more fluidity when you change to the backstab motion, because that one is a little clunky going to the stab. It feels a little off.
Interesting. Okay, I was actually pretty good with them for the most part. So I recognize like the backstab is a heavy attack. It should have a little bit of a wind up, similar to the sword lunge. Haven't really felt like the knife is hurting anywhere except for the hit reg on that. That's the only thing that I have a complaint about is that the hit registration is still a little off when throwing.
I don't use those in PvP. I only use them in PvE. So
same.
I did notice yesterday, the first time since the throwing knife has been put in the game, that I was getting hit regged a lot, because I would throw a knife at a skeleton. I would hear the hit. I would see the white cross on the right hit marker. I would see the skeleton jerk, but they were skeletons that are one shot with a throwing knife, and I would throw another one. I would get the white cross. I would see the skeleton jerk. I would get the sound, and it wasn't taking damage.
Yeah.
So yesterday was really the first day that I noticed that consistently with the throwing knife. I'm sure it's absolutely atrocious in PvP though.
Yeah, I don't know that I trust the throwing knife in PvP at the moment. Although I did see you fighting some people that were actually using it, and you ran out of blunderbuss and Eye of Reach, and I was looking at 2 daggers stuck in the brig as it was sinking, thinking, grab.
I could just pick them up and chuck them.
Grab it.
No,
it's right there.
I don't trust myself to I know what fight you were talking about, by the way, because I felt like a god in that fight. That was like some of my best PvP performance for a long time. But no, I knew the daggers you're talking about. I'm like, I'm not touching them. Nope. I'm not throwing those, because if I throw them, I will look like a complete idiot after that dominant performance.
Oh my gosh. So aside from the changes to the throwing knives that are going to be coming down the line once they're ready, they're going to be working on the blunderbuss as well too. This one feels a little bit more in line with what I think people are upset about, which is that the knockback is benefiting boarders more than defenders. So yeah, they're going to be bringing it in a little bit tighter, making the knockback a little bit less, and just making that a little bit more predictable.
All right. So I'm not going to go into super detail about my feelings around my blunderbuss. You're going to have to tune into my next episode for that. But I'm going to state this. The changes to the blunderbuss that they have implemented now are changes that I feel like should have been implemented a long time ago. The removing of the one shot and the further knockback. I feel like this should have been the blunderbuss for the past several years, not just now. But now that we have it, I am happy with the knockback, and I am happy with I think the consistency could use a little tweak, but I'm happy with the knockback, and I'm happy with the lack of one shot. In fact, when we were watching the Sea of Thieves news article, or the video, I actually paused at this moment. I'm like, no, I feel like bringing that knockback in, it might not change a lot, but it also might make the blunderbuss feel bad. Depending on, again, how far I personally feel it's fine. And I get where people say it benefits boarders over or it benefits the aggressive boarder versus the defender, right?
Yeah.
I get where people are saying that, but here's what I'm going to counter with. Do not stand at the top of the ladder aiming your blunderbuss down at someone. Stand to the side of the ladder. In fact, stand to the side of the ladder towards the front of the ship and aim down at them, because then when you hit them with the blunderbuss and knock them back, it knocks them backwards off the ladder so they can't re-grab it. If you shoot it straight down the ladder, they can easily just re-grab it. Or if you shoot them towards the front of your ship, you knock them forward and they just re-grab it. Whenever you defend against the boarder, you should be leaning yourself towards the front of the ship to knock them backwards into the water, not in a position where they can just re-grab. If that player is getting to the top of your ladder and able to blunder you back, you've missed your opportunity to defend that board, in my opinion, if we're just talking specifically about the moment of boarding.
Yeah.
But I'm anxious to see what they do. I personally like the current state of the blunderbuss a lot. I know a lot of people are not using it because it doesn't have the one-shot kill. I understand why solo sloopers, they are probably the only ones, in my opinion, that should be able to scream from the rooftops that this change is not fair, because solo sloopers needed that one-shot kill in order to be competitive against like a galleon crew of 4 or a brig crew of 3. They needed that to even the odds a little bit. So solo sloopers, I get you. I'm with you. I understand. And you deserve to scream. But for the betterment of the game, this was the proper choice. And I like where it is right now. I'm going to obviously see where it goes when they adjust it. But I really like where the blunder is right now.
I want to see what this looks like with the actual grapple gun that's coming, because I think that's going to be really dependent on how how people use it, I think it's going to honestly think it's going to kind of break the game, and boarding will become exponentially easier for people. So I'm glad that they're doing this. I'm glad that they're able to provide us a little bit of feedback and willing to kind of pull back on some of like the initial changes to the blunderbuss so quickly after iteration.
Yeah, yeah. Again, they're not going to show us the data. They're not. They're not going to show us the data. But I would like to see what data they saw which says we need to make another adjustment to the blunderbuss. They made a major adjustment to the blunderbuss just recently, and they're already ready to make another one. So there had to be something egregious in that data, which is telling them to make this adjustment. I would like to see what that was, because for me, it feels pretty good. But obviously they have a lot more data than just me. So I would be anxious to see what that is. I would be anxious to see why they come to the changes that they do and how it performs. Maybe I'll like it better. Maybe I'll like it better and I'll be fine with it. But there must have been something egregious in there. All right, I should say, I hope that there is something egregious in there which is prompting this change, and it's not just a shoot from the hip. Oh crap, we took the one shot away and we're knocking people back 1,000,000 miles. We got to pull this back right now. Like, I hope there was something egregious in the data which is constituting this change.
I think a lot of it may actually come from the player or community kind of feedback as well too, because there's definitely been a lot of folks that are upset about how much the knockback is with the blunderbuss and that it could be pulled in.
Right. Well, yeah. I personally like it because it's those guys who love their swords, man. They charge me and then they get knocked back and they got to charge me again when I got another gun. I like it, but again, I'm open to seeing how this adjustment changes the blunderbuss. I am happy where it is now. I just hope they don't bring the knockback too far in, right? Because again, the idea of this is it's both an offensive and it's a defensive weapon. On the defensive side, it's to knock people back so they can't stab you with a sword, they can't stab you with a knife. That's the idea there. So I want to make sure that, it knocks them back far enough so by the time I reload, I have a chance to shoot again, and they're not right on top of me.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree in the sentiment there. It's definitely going to be something that a lot of people are going to have to kind of get used to play around with. I'm looking forward to seeing like what they decide to do, if it's too much or too little. I think obviously insiders is going to be the real key here, that if you do want to try and influence this, that you are putting the time in on insiders to provide that feedback. But it's hard to know who has time for that, as well as all the stuff that goes on in Sea Thieves and other games.
Right. I stopped playing Insiders a long time ago, not because of any reason for testing purposes, but literally just because I knew what was coming out before it came out, and so I was less excited. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So though you don't get to see everything, I wanted to be surprised now whenever something new comes out.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that as well too. All right. Well, that was pretty much it as far as stuff that I wanted to jump into. Was there anything else that you wanted to bring up?
No, I think that was a very detailed conversation around all the news that is coming up and all the changes. Awesome. I think we get it all.
Yay, we did it all. All right. Well, Davram, if you don't mind, give folks some information as far as where they can find your content and when you've got your next episode coming.
Yeah, next episode should be, I don't want to, man, with my schedule right now, I hate committing to, I try to have it out on Wednesdays or Thursdays to the general public patrons, get it early. But with how things are going on right now, specifically with my job, I don't want to commit to that, but it will be out this week. I'm hoping in the next couple days, I'll be able to finish it up. But yeah, they could check that out. Pirate Talk Radio on all your podcasting apps, or youtube.com/@Pirate Talk Radio, because that's how YouTube does it nowadays. But yeah, we'll be talking blunderbuss changes, some of the things we talked about here. Again, can't give everything to Logan. Logan doesn't get it all out of my brain, so we'll have some other things to talk about there. But yeah, go check it out.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time today as well too, and hopefully we'll get to do some sailing soon.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be awesome.
Alrighty. All right, folks, that's going to do it for this episode of the Keelhauled podcast. As always, if you guys want to find out more about content that's coming or want to join up for the community episode later this month, head over to patreon.com/Keelhauled podcast, join up the Discord server, or just hit me up on socials. If you see me on Twitter, you can always ask me any questions there. If I have time, I'll definitely jump in and let you know what's going on. All right. I think that'll do it.
Awesome.